Padding and margin. This is what we use to add space inside something, that's padding, and outside or around something, that's margin. There are a ton of ways to adjust these values, but in this video, we're focusing on clicking and dragging. We'll talk about adjusting padding and margin on one side of something. We'll talk about how to adjust opposing sides at the same time. And finally, we'll talk about affecting padding and margin on all four sides of an element. Let's start with the first one. Now, each of these buttons, they all have the same class applied. What's the name of that class? Button. If we want to add padding on one side, we can select any one of them and simply click and drag on the inner part of our controls here. This is adjusting the space inside, the padding, on whatever side of the buttons we're manipulating. For margin, it's the same thing, but now we're adjusting the space outside. Okay, that's adjusting padding and margin on one side. What about opposing sides? We hold down Option or Alt on Windows, and we click and drag to adjust both sides at the same time. This works for padding, and this works for margin. Okay, finally, let's cover adjusting all sides. Same thing here, but let's do Shift for all sides. This works for both padding and margin. So, click and drag to adjust one side, hold down Option or Alt to adjust opposing sides, and hold down Shift to adjust all sides at once. That's using click and drag to adjust padding and margin on an element.